realized we have a $14 million expense for cat asshole animations and then a $20 million expense for cat asshole removal.
Mm-hmm.
James, I want you to explain to me what happened.
Explain to me what happened.
Oh, fuck, you can't make this shit up. You can't make shit up this stupid.
So, that was a meeting someone had.
Yes! Yes, it's a meeting someone had!
Somebody... I can imagine just the director sitting in a room defending the cat assholes.
Oh, my God. Now, it was important. We were going for anatomical accurateness. Cats have assholes, and they love showing those suckers off. You can't get a cat to stop showing you its asshole.
Yes, but nobody wants to see a cat asshole.
It doesn't matter what they want. It's about the art.
Screen.
You will not jeopardize the integrity of my vision. So yeah.
There's a cut of the remake of Cats with cat assholes, cat booty holes.
It's just out there. I love that story so much. I'm so glad that that's true. I'm so glad that's reality. I'm glad we live in this timeline just for the cat asshole fiasco. It's remarkable. An entire staff dedicated to just putting cat assholes on celebrities.
And then another entire staff dedicated to
undoing
taking them
it.
out.
Just getting rid of all that work. I want to know the actual end cost of that, that poor decision. How much did that studio run up? How much deeper is Cats in the red for the purpose of cat assholes?
I just want to know.
You can recontextualize it, and there's just like a hostage situation at the studio. We want $14 million to put cat assholes on all these celebrities, and then $20 million to remove the assholes we put on. It makes no sense. It makes no sense, and I love it. I love that it makes zero sense.
It's one of those stories you don't really want to read any further into it. You just kind of want to know the basic level of it and come up with the whole story
absolutely
by
there's
yourself.
No way. Like, I'm sure there's a bunch of long meetings talking about it, and I don't know what argument you have to not only pitch but maintain cat assholes through the entire process of production and post-production,
to the point where there is a finished cut with the cat assholes.
Finished cut where every single, you name it, Sir Ian McKellen, he's got a cat asshole. Taylor Swift, asshole, all of them. James Gordon, asshole. I don't remember the names of everybody in that movie because it's a big list, but there's a lot of celebrities with cat assholes.
I feel like the thing that finally got them to take the assholes off was, a few of those celebrities' agents came in and were like, hold on, you put what on my fucking client?
That's probably a big thing that happened. But, like, even before, you couldn't tell me they didn't, like, survey, like, a test group, like, that didn't want a question. And, how would you feel about a movie in which every single participant had their asshole out? Like, they didn't pull that once to see what the reaction would be?
It was the director's vision, you see.
Yeah, no kidding. The director's like, I need a nice vision of those cat holes.
Cat holes. Oh my god.
I just don't want to keep saying assholes over and over again, so just cat holes is fine.
Cat holes.
Cat holes.
The holes of a cat. It's gonna make its way out there. If they were to release that on DVD, that movie would make its money back.
Probably.
Easy.
Probably. Oh god.
I don't think they'd waste the money trying to put it on Blu-ray.
No, probably not.
Fuck.
I just... What a world.
Oh.
There
are people struggling to get their stories told, their scripts out there, their movies made, and there's some dude out there who made a whole fucking movie, and then it had to be almost redone. Why? Cat assholes.
So how early were we recording? I'm just wondering if the band name of James Gordon's cat asshole made it in.
It did not.
Okay, well, we were talking about James Gordon's cat asshole, and I think that's a phenomenal name for a band.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome James Gordon's Cat Asshole!
Hey, ho, cat asshole. I mean, I feel like we've exhausted this well pretty fast, because just like everything about cats, it's kind of shallow. Very shallow.
You don't want to look too deep into it. You just kind of want to see the surface, and you can put your own, probably more entertaining story together.
The best experience with cats is just seeing as little of it as possible, making something up, and moving on with your life. So, just like that, we're going to move on. This is episode 7.
No?
No?
What episode?
I think it's 7.
At some point, we should start counting, huh?
I think you should change your naming scheme.
What?
You just name the thing the date, and that's not good for clicks.
It makes sense to me.
Well, you can file it that way, but maybe not name it that.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode of the Thoroughly Thought Podcast. I'm Jonathan Rouse.
I'm Genesis Ruiz.
And here we are. Just, here we are.
Well, speaking of awkward situations, you had a situation with your card.
I did. I got a birthday card.
Oh,
No,
that's
I'm
not
kidding.
the card we were talking about.
I did. It wasn't awkward. It was just more very inconvenient. I went to pay a medical bill, and my card got declined. And I was like, well, why did that happen? Whatever. Okay, I'm sure it was just because sometimes that'll just happen. You'll go somewhere and it'll just get declined, computer malfunction or something. It happens. So I was like, okay, whatever. Then I go over to Best Buy. I'm buying a hard drive for my computer at work, an external hard drive, so I can put my projects on it. And I go to pay for it, and my card got declined again. And I'm like, what's wrong with my card? So I call my bank, and they're like, oh, it's been like red tagged or whatever, or a red warning or whatever. Red warm. Warm warning? Anyway, there's been some bad activity with my card. And I was like, what? So they give me an 800 number to call the fraud department. And I was like, okay. So I call them, and they're like, so, did you at any point in the last 3 days spend $32.95 at a McDonald's in Massachusetts? To which I said, no. And he was like, oh, okay. Did you then buy $25 worth of gas at a gas station up in Massachusetts? To which I responded once again, no. And he was like, sir, there's been some fraudulent activity on your card. We're going to have to shut it down. And I was like, oh. So my card got shut off. And I've just been without any form of paying for anything for like a week.
That's horrible. What's weird is you're like the third person I've known who's been affected by this.
And I had a movie pre-ordered, 1917, the Steelbook from Best Buy.
Yeah.
And they got canceled because my card information couldn't be processed. And I was like,
gosh.
what? And it's weird because like I already paid for it back in January.
Right.
But they're trying to run it through again, and I'm like, this is already paid for. Why do you even need to mess with my card at this point? Like, just send like a verification email or whatever, and I'll fill it out. But so I lost that, and that's the biggest travesty.
Are you gonna message them about it?
No, I don't care.
Are they sending you your money back?
Not really. Well, maybe. I don't know. I haven't checked.
You should talk to them about it, because if you pay for something and you don't get it, that's theft.
You're right.
They stole your money.
Well, they gave me 24 hours to fix the problem. But I was like, what the fuck can I do? My card's gone.
I called them. Do you still have 24 hours? Well, obviously
No.
not, but how much time do you have?
I mean, they canceled it. I can call back and be like, hey, I just got this. Here's the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Give me my movie.
It's already paid for. I'll karate chop your nuts off.
Wacha! Ah! That's the sound the nut makes when it falls off. Just, ah!
The nut screams, not the man.
Yeah. Did you not know that?
I've never lost my nuts.
Oh. They scream.
Wow.
Yeah.
Unknown.
Very known.
To me.
Yeah.
Now I know.
That was my story, by the way. It wasn't really as interesting as the cats thing, but it's what happened, so.
I mean, it's not necessarily as interesting, air quotes, but, like, what is interesting about it is there's 3 people now who've been affected by that in my immediate circle. Because Amelia has issues with her card that caused it to get declined, and now she's fraud.
Mm-hmm.
And so she has to get a new one. And then my brother Gabriel as well.
Dude, okay, so I've never had this issue before. And then I went to, I don't want to say, fuck it. I went to a Casey's gas station. And it was the first time I ever went to one, and I paid at the pump.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, suddenly, oh, what? My card's being used up in Massachusetts. What? So
Did you check the card reader?
I blame Chase. Mm-hmm.
Did you check the card reader before you used it?
Mm-hmm.
Did you, like, jiggle it and wiggle it and try to
Everything
rip it
looked
off?
good to go. It all looked peachy. Like a regular old card reader. It's probably not even that. I don't know. Maybe they just got it from fucking online shit.
Maybe.
That's even more freaky. Because then that means they're going through my stuff. But yeah.
It might not be you. It might have been through someone else's server. Like, I don't know. Like, do you order parts from anywhere? Like, for computer stuff or anything online?
Yeah, I order stuff online all the time.
Is it, like, from a third-party website?
No, it's usually, like, from, like... What third party?
I don't know, something like Newegg or...
Usually, it's like, you know, usually just like Amazon, eBay. So, and I normally use my PayPal, so they don't even get my card information. They just get the stuff from PayPal.
Weird.
And on PayPal, I had to switch my primary source of money from my card to just directly take it, like a direct connection to my checking account. So that's what I did, guys.
That sucks, man. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's okay. I'll survive.
Yeah, I know.
You wanna know why?
Why?
Because somewhere out there is a cut of the 2019 remake of Cats with some assholes on every single one of those felines.
Every single one, baby.
And it just makes everything just a bit better, doesn't it?
Just the knowledge.
Just the knowledge that
Just a little bit
that
better.
was fought for. It made it all the way. Oh, maybe it could have made it to release until someone stepped in and said, but why?
Hey, maybe we don't do this. Hey, maybe that's not a good idea. Yeah, I'm pretty confident in that being a not good idea. We're not doing that.
Director's just sitting there. But why?
But why?
But why? Meow meow.
Oh my god.
Do it.
I would hate to have a meeting with that guy. Meow meow. But the assholes are integral to the plot. Meow.
Oh my god. Just, oh fuck. They could have been very much that.
Yeah.
All the producers just sitting around. You really need to explain your case. Meow meow.
Oh fuck. He's just like possessed by some ancient Egyptian god, Bast. He's just like, I serve Bast, and this is as they decree.
Jesus. Oh well. Well, that was my story time with JR.
Hooray.
So you have a story about Netflix and
Yes.
Dracula and how it's not good?
I watched the Netflix Dracula series, and it's 2/3 good.
2/3.
Maybe a little bit under. So I'm not going to go into the plot or anything, but the first 2 episodes are a really interesting take on Dracula and like combating him, and it's an interesting, engaging story, you know, about his victims and what it does to them, and it establishes how his powers work and things like that, the things he's capable of. What really gets weird is that at the end of episode 2, he's put in a coffin and on a sinking boat, and so to escape the explosion, he goes into the coffin, into the water to escape, you know, the on-fire boom boat. And you see the coffin at the bottom of the water, you follow it down, and then you see Dracula, like, punch his way out, and then he goes ashore, and then a spotlight comes down on him.
Boom.
Yeah, from above. And then you hear a helicopter, and a bunch of people with guns run out, and this lady goes, "Hello, Count Dracula. We've been expecting you. What kept you?"
Like a Nick Fury type of shit?
Kind of?
So wait a minute. So this is the end of episode 2?
Yeah.
Okay, so I thought this whole series took place in Dracula times. Does this take place modern?
So no, 2 of the 3 episodes take place in Dracula time, and at the end of episode 2, they just go bam.
Fucking give them AKs.
Yeah, and so these people are holding Dracula at gunpoint, and the episode ends, and so I'm just sitting there like, huh? What? And honestly, the concept of Dracula being in the modern times isn't impossible to make work. It's not necessarily what makes Dracula interesting, but like there's definitely potential there, and I'm not going to discredit it as a concept, but I don't feel like it was executed well, and like it was so dumb. Like Dracula's like, oh, it's so like there's a scene where Dracula's like, oh, this is so easy, and he's just like on a generic Tinder equivalent, like swiping no on people and like deciding who he's gonna go after for a meal.
Wait, this is in episode 3.
Yes.
So it goes from just Dracula times, like a very atmospheric, just medieval sort of gothic.
Well, not medieval,
look,
like like gothic and
look, to just Dracula on Tinder.
There's a bit of a spot in the middle. So they arrest Dracula. He goes into a building. He's trying to escape from them. They track him down. He kills some people, and so he's in this house in the middle of the day. And he needs, it's Dracula. He needs Transylvanian soil to like not die, or not to not die, but to like to rest. And this woman who was arresting him, who is apparently a descendant of this woman he was interacting with before, she comes in and is like, "You're not gonna hurt me," and he goes, "Oh, I can do whatever the fuck I want," and she's like, and she like, and like a wrecking ball or something comes through and punches a hole in the roof.
Oh.
And so light starts coming in, and Dracula's like, "Oh shit!" And she's like, "Yeah, you're gonna get in the coffin, and you're gonna do what we say, because we own your ass."
I'm so confused.
It's not what she says, but it's what she meant. Yeah, so she's like, "You're gonna get in the coffin, or we're just gonna burn you to death." How about them? How about that, loser?
So was like it a simulation, or they time trap? Where
No.
did the people with guns show up from?
So he was on a boat in Dracula times.
Okay.
TM Dracula times, and the woman in the past set the boat to explode to kill Dracula and stop him from reaching London. So Dracula, to stop this, got onto his coffin, which had the Transylvanian dirt in it, and rode it into the water to escape the explosion, where he was resting for 123 years. Before waking up and making it ashore, but they were waiting for him.
Okay. Alright. I see.
And it's poopy.
That makes... So, wait a minute. They just spent 123 years just waiting for him?
So, there's these people... I can't explain too much without going into plot, but basically, there was a man who Dracula turned into a vampire, who resisted it to an extent, and did everything he could to help his loved ones escape Dracula. And so... And then there was this woman, The woman is Van Helsing. And she helps the man's fiance, they never got the chance to get married, escape. And so she then, being a woman of nobility, her father dies and she inherits his money, and she starts in a foundation in her late fiance's name. And that organization, knows about Dracula because she knew about Dracula, and Van Helsing's family knew about Dracula. So they all come together, pool their resources, and basically start a, okay, vampires exist in a real organization. And so they knew that Dracula was somewhere just off the coast of London, or of England, but they never dealt with it until, they had never found it or dealt with it until recently, where they sent scuba divers down, and then they found Dracula, and they thought it was just a fucking corpse. But someone got their hand bit, and Dracula got the blood, and that started him waking up. So they put the lid back on the coffin. We're like, oh shit, we just woke up Dracula. And that's why they were waiting for him on the beach.
Oh, okay. This does not sound like a show I'd check out, TBH.
No.
Yeah.
No, and the first part started off so good because it's just about Dracula. Dude, and then the ending's super poopy.
Yeah.
Because the ending is just like, Dracula has no weaknesses. But he's going to kill himself anyway because he's sad.
Oh, they just straight up.
So
Dracula,
the entire
I'm
show.
depressed.
No.
I'm gone.
So yes, but no. So
Oh.
there's this woman Van Helsing. She's basically trying to figure out what about all the myths are true and what's not about Dracula. And so she's running these experiments very dangerously, and basically her knowledge gets carried on into the future into her descendant, who is also a Van Helsing, who works for this organization. I can't stress to you how little this organization fucking mattered.
Okay.
Like, it was there for the first part of episode 3 and then just stopped mattering. Like, they never tried anything else with Dracula. They let him go because he got a lawyer.
Hold on.
Yeah, I figured.
Dracula got a lawyer?
So they gave him a tablet which had just a bunch of books written that covered the time span of like history and science and whatnot, basically to catch Dracula up on what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
They gave him like a tablet, but he got into the Wi-Fi and started Skyping with a lawyer, who then like shows up and is like, "Hey, yeah, you have taken my client against his will." And it's like, that's Dracula. Doesn't it bother you that he killed people? That he's over 120 years ago, he's super old. And he goes, unfortunately, being all old isn't a crime. Holding people against their will is. And then they just let him go.
And that's it?
It's basically the last time the organization matters. Now, I thought it would have been interesting if they brought up a point. They didn't. But, like, if they brought up the point that, like, Dracula's been asleep for over 123 years, and that's well beyond the statute of limitations. It's like, he can't be prosecuted or convicted for any of those crimes. And
right.
Even, and hypothetically speaking, he's already been in the water for 123 years.
Mm-hmm.
His isolation has already been beyond anything that would be considered cruel and unusual in court. So technically speaking, not only could he not be persecuted, but if he had, he would have already technically served his service by being, or served his sentence.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, he's also a vampire, so why would the laws of humans
Pertain
to him? They clearly fucking didn't.
Well, you know what? If the last episode was just a People versus O.J. Simpson lawsuit, where it's just humanity versus Dracula, that might have been okay. I still would have thought it was dumb, but it would have been more interesting than what we got.
So it just ends with Dracula.
So,
Excuse me, Dracula.
yes, Dracula kills
him.
himself.
Why?
So, the knowledge gets passed from one Van Helsing to the other through Dracula's blood. Not going to go into it. But she tried to become a vampire by drinking Dracula's blood because she has cancer.
Oh.
And she's going to die soon. And so, this thing that continuously gets brought up over the course is that blood is lives. And basically, Dracula is able to learn things through people's blood. And he can absorb parts of them and traces of who they are and incorporate that into himself.
Mm-hmm.
But, so, when she drinks the blood, she gets part of it in her, and it's the part that's related to her, the Van Helsing bit. So, she basically has her great-great-great-aunt riding shotgun in her head for a little bit, as it's working through the mystery. They're trying to figure out why Dracula is the way that he is. And basically they come to the conclusion, sunlight doesn't actually hurt vampires. Crosses, none of that. None of that actually hurts vampires. It's just Dracula. Except with a stake through the heart. Stake through the heart kills stuff, but that's beside the point. That's just so they have a way to kill vampires.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, Dracula is scared of the cross and scared of the light and whatnot because all of his ancestors, his father, his grandfather, all of them, they all died warriors' deaths. He was a warrior king. His sons and their sons fought and died warriors' deaths. But he didn't, and he never could. He's Dracula, and he's ashamed, and he's guilty, and he feels bad that he takes people's lives, and that he's addicted or whatever to blood, and that it's bad, and he's bad, he feels horrible. And he'll never die, except that the cancer patient's blood is poisonous to vampires. Vampires are allergic to cancer. Is
really
deathly allergic to cancer, apparently.
Wow,
and then
that's something them and man have in common.
So she's dying, and then he's like, you're right. The sun's shining on Dracula, and he's like, you're absolutely right. And so he takes it, and he starts drinking her blood, and she goes, but it'll kill you. And he goes, that's the point, or something like that. And he basically goes, you've helped me, I'm ready to die. And so he drinks her cancer blood while she's like already like, she checked herself out of the hospital to pursue Dracula, so she's already super dying.
Oh.
And so then Dracula has this thing where a quote from the show is, a vampire's bite is a dream. So there's just this scene where there's fire like all around them as they're in this big circular bed fucking. And she and Dracula are having sex, and she goes, it doesn't hurt. And he goes, you think after all these years I would have let it hurt? And so they die in the dream, her of cancer and being sucked dead by Dracula, him of eating a lethal amount of cancer blood.
And that's it?
That's it.
That's how it ends?
It's poopy.
It just ends with Dracula.
It's a big old stinker.
What? That's it. That's all
That's
you got.
It. That's the show. 2 great episodes of exploring, like, really just exploring and emphasizing stereotypical Bram Stoker Dracula, getting that good creepy shit. There's a scene where Dracula gaslights the guy from the first episode, who's the fiance. He's like, there's a baby crying in a bag, and he's like, I keep hearing a baby. Where's the baby? And Dracula's like, there's no baby, Jack. You're crazy. And he's like, no, you have a baby in the bag. There's no baby. And the guy is like too old and too weak from being consistently fed by Dracula, or being fed on by Dracula. Mm-hmm. And he knows there's a baby in the bag, and so he's walking up the stairs with the bag that's wriggling and crying, and he goes, no, he's like, you gotta stop, leave the baby, don't hurt the baby. And he goes, there's no baby, Jack. And then later in that episode we found out that he fed the baby to one of his brides. Yeah, no, exactly. It does these cool things where it explores just the cold, sadistic nature of Count Dracula. And then it ends with, you're right, I am sad. Let's dream fuck.
And then they dream fuck?
And die.
And you said it's like 4 hours? That just is...
It's 4 hours. The first, like, 2 hours and 40 minutes, or maybe 2 hours and 35 minutes, molto bene. It's just a story of this person learning about Dracula, encountering Dracula, losing only then to overcome Count Dracula. And then if you stopped right before that, you'd be like, England Police Department, put your fucking hands up. If you just stop right before that, it's great. It's good.
Okay, so that's actually something I would love to just sit down with, like, the people who made it and just learn the creative process of not the first 2, because, like, I feel like that comes across very well in what their intentions were. But when it, like, jumps to the 3rd episode, just to sit them down and be like, so, what the fuck?
Yeah. Was this the plan from the start, or did you just have leftover budget and a whole episode to film and you went, oh shit?
That's poopy.
It's real stinky winky, baby.
Yeah.
It started so strong and I really liked it, and then it took such a right turn. Just a hard right.
Right into a fucking wall.
It could have been cool. It could have been interesting. Like, I'm not going to discredit the concept on its own, but, like, going from episode 2 to episode 3 is like being an entirely different show. Mm-hmm. You know? At the end of the day, I can't say I really liked it.
Damn. It sucks.
I do really like the first 2 episodes, but as a whole, I can't say I like it.
There's a couple things on Netflix I've been needing to sit down and watch.
You ever watched the Castlevania animated series?
No.
You should. It's good.
I can't remember the names of them, but I put them on my list because I was gonna watch them. So once I bring that up, I can see it. But yeah. Well, that's
the thing.
That's that. All right, Dracula show sucked.
I don't want to say it sucked. I think that's mean to the people who made it, and clearly they were very capable. It just the third episode script took a
Got
hard
botched.
right, and I don't even want to say it got botched per se. I just
Bad execution.
I don't know what I can say because I don't want to be mean or rude. You know, clearly the people who made this had talent and vision. Like the first 2 episodes are testament to that. Episode 3 really doesn't work for me.
No, you could still give them the credit for the first 2 and still say, but the ending was just not good.
I want to say it was the script or maybe even the idea behind it that just poisoned all the other work into it in episode 3. Because, like, the concept isn't without merit. I just don't feel like it... Because it really doesn't feel like it... There are aspects of it that build off of the previous 2 episodes, but all in all, it just feels like a hard right into a different show.
Well, let me ask you, so do episodes 1 and 2, or does episode 3, which one seems to have the bigger budget in terms of set design and production?
That's an interesting question. It's hard to tell, because my bias is going to say it's a higher budget to have medieval-looking sets, or not medieval, but like, Dracula time TM.
Yeah.
Victorian-era Europe. Like, that's going to be a higher budget to make and produce and film in an area like that. But, it's not like the budget shots and stuff were cheap. Like, there was an interesting big moving set piece in the 3rd episode where they had a series of mirrors that linked the sun and they could shine it down like a powerful laser. And they, like, basically had this interrogation area where they left a slim line of shadow in the corner for Dracula so that people could come in and talk to him with the light on them so he couldn't fuck them up. But also, in that same set piece, in the set design, there's a toilet in the corner, and we spend about 1.5 minutes with Dracula going like, what the hell is this? I'm a vampire. Why have you given me a toilet?
So even though that's cool...
It's cool. Like, the whole set rotated. The whole set.
Rotated.
Like, a portion of the set. Where, like, so, think, like, the Loki cage in, like, Marvel. In, like, I think, was it Thor 2? I don't know. Where he's got, like, that box he's in. It's like that, but then like it rotates so that it can line up with the mirrors that are set up to project the sun down in there. And like so he's just in it as it rotates and we're watching these people and working in the room around him. It was an interesting shot. There were aspects of it that were very well executed and very cool concepts. Just none of them felt like they made sense in a Dracula story.
I was going to say, maybe what happened is they just ran out of money and they were like, well, shit, we can't build the medieval sets anymore, the ones we need. Let's just make it modern times. Then we can just film in, like, downtown London or whatever.
I don't think that's what it was.
I'm not saying that is what it was. I was just saying maybe that could be something.
One of the most terrifying concepts it played with is that there's just some people who are born that way who will just be undead, who don't die, and like they feel themselves rot and decay. Ugh. And then they get buried and they're stuck.
Oh
yeah, like Dracula in the future takes a Tinder date out to the graveyard and lets her hear about all the undead shit, like listen, and like you could just hear the scratching at the coffins and people saying it hurts. No,
so
it's terrifying.
Up.
And then that same girl ends up becoming undead and turning into a vampire or something, with Dracula.
But you want to know what made it?
She gets cremated.
You want to know what makes it a little less cool, though?
Huh?
It's the fact that you said he takes her Tinder date
Yeah.
to the cemetery. Oh well. You know, this whole episode here has just been filled with odd ideas brought forth by movie producers, whether it be putting assholes on cats or
putting Dracula in the future
on
modern
Tinder,
times. Yeah. Dracula on Tinder.
Dracula on Tinder. So, damn.
That sounds like a crappy T-shirt that exists.
Dracula.
Just a thing like a stereotypical Dracula, but like it's behind, like, and you could see him holding a phone, and it says like "bite right." That sounds like a bad T-shirt that exists.
It's probably around the Halloween season.
Yeah.
Ah, damn. All right. Well, I believe that is kind of it there then. So, thank you all so much for listening to this week's episode of the Thoroughly Thought Podcast. My name is Jonathan Rouse.
And I am Genesis Ruiz, and we will tickle your eardrums later.